real quick. I want to come on. I just recorded intro video and the values of the day. I'm surprised. It's something I actually stuck with for once. It's a commitment, right? So I was doing some pondering because I did touch on in the values video how certain aspects of me was kind of pushed down and kept small, and it's something I've been grappling with since I realized the truth of it. It's taken a long time to unpack it, little by little, with this and with that, and it's been years, a lot of my life actually. And because Pluto energy has been so prevalent, um, he's actually brought attention to my 8th house placement, and it's my moon sign. So I've been getting into it, right? Because I also have, with Lilith being kind of a deviant, I actually have Lilith and Leo too. So when it comes to the aspects of me, those two components, the moon sign being in the 8th house and the Lilith being in the 8th house, my feel of it is intense. It's fucking intense, right? And it's about courage and it's about passion. The truth of it, when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to death, when it comes to things that people don't want to fucking talk about, it's in my heart to just, to expose. And I'm a life path 7. It's really, I like to investigate. I like to get in that motherfucker and just, I want to see what it's made of. Those shadows I had, still have in certain ways, I want to see what they're made of. I want to dissect these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, pin that motherfucker up and see what it's made of. I did want to be a surgeon when I was in high school. So, cosmetic surgeon. I love symmetry. I can appreciate asymmetrical things or oblong or, the uniqueness of a shape that's not perfect. But it was something about the right and the left equaling, balancing, or damn near exact. We don't have to be a mirrored image thoroughly and through. If we can get as, you only know how you only look how you think you look. Then you look in the mirror and you look different. You only remember what you think you look like because you can't actually see your face. The way you look at yourself in the camera and in the mirror, and then you take a picture and it looks different. It's like your view of you is different than everybody else's view of you and perception of you. So growing up, sex was always around me. The energy of it, not necessarily people having it all the time or something like that, but there were times when I could sense it was near, and it was an attractive energy to me. I always knew when people were giving off innuendos or flirting. As a kid, I could feel it, and I could sense it, I could pick it up. So, I don't know. After, I want to say, what sparked it off, literally. Fucking got electrocuted. Trying to plug up a fan my mom's friend gave us. The cord was frayed. somebody posted something and it was, somebody about to stick a, it was a meme or whatever, and it sparked literally the memory. Before that, I have some memory, but it's like shit. It was like life before then and life after then. And it started to change, and it started to shift, and it started to develop. I don't remember being that aware. I wasn't fully aware or of anything, but as far as like that I can define. But that's when I started to counsel kids my age, grown ass woman across the street, hairdresser that had the duplex. She was renting out the house part to us. She had her beauty shop connected. And I used to speak and I used to talk. Things that I did not know, but were coming from me. Almost like a channeling, right? It was a channeling. Around the time I first picked up the cards and started playing the cards and looking at the people on the cards and noticing that, okay, they have faces, they have expressions. What are they doing? What are they saying? Diamonds, hearts. You know what I'm saying? I've always been in love with spades, though. And then that being the game connected to the culture I was brought up in, I get it now. Quite sharp. Not a whole sharp, a spade sharp. Okay, it's the difference. I can get a little mannish. But I remember walking in on my mom one day. My grandmother was on with my granny. She wasn't my biological grandmother, but she loved me like she was. Nobody in her family really did accept me like that because I was, the kid born out of wedlock. All her other three grandkids were born of her son through marriage to my mom. So I don't know. She loved me, cancer woman. But it's like, damn, the bed slid off, the mattress is off the, thing. I'm like, that's my mom. That's the man. Hmm. Okay. Walk out slowly, close the door behind me. Keep pushing. I didn't think about it too much, right? But in that moment, what was attached to it that I'm picking up from those involved, shame, guilt, like embarrassment, like, okay, whatever. I remember something before that. I think I had to be about 3. I was looking through this keyhole. In Illinois, some of the doors they were built, in the early 1900s and shit. So they had keyholes, even though you didn't have a real key to get in it back in the day. You probably had to. So these little brass or copper, not copper, but like brass doorknobs and stuff. Even my high school still had crests everywhere. Crests, marble flooring, 4 stories high, looked like a castle. Like it's a pretty old city. So I remember looking through the keyhole. What's going on in there? With the curiosity of it. And everything was like so secretive and so the reason why people believe it to be something dirty or something is because they had to do dirty shit. Like it gave this sense of dirtiness or uncleanliness because a lot of people were hiding to do it or hiding it from others. It's the most natural shit, right? What is nasty or evil or wrong about it? I'm not talking about the extra shit. No, I'm not talking about that extra unnatural shit. I'm talking about basic human procreation practice of sex. Because it's not, when people are doing it, they're not doing it for that reason. So the intention is different. The intention that I walked in on wasn't about procreation. It was just the act, like a mimicry of what the purpose of sex is for. So there's shame attached to it, and there was guilt attached to it, or whatever. And just later on in life, knowing, I had a sense of knowing, like, okay, my niece was born the day before my 3rd birthday. Cool. Then my nephew was born around that time that I had seen that dance that I wasn't supposed to be witnessing, right? And I came into an understanding that that's how that happens. I'm like, that makes that. Nobody explained anything to me about sex and birds and bees and female, male. Nobody explained none of that shit. My upbringing was pretty, you know or you don't. But I assume that you do because it's common sense. Nobody taught me shit. But I put the feeling together. Like, these two people are huddled very close to each other. And then that baby comes. And then I saw that. So they must have done that to get this. This is how my mind worked. I had to use my deductive reasoning. Because the motherfucker ain't tell me shit. I remember having to talk. I was talked to by my mom. A man gonna tell you he love you, but he's lying. Don't believe it. I was 5 or 6, like, looking at my, 13, 14-year-old sister, like, did you understand that? And I understand that. What comes before that statement? I'm missing this whole big ass piece of shit. Like, okay. So, my brother's baby mama, when I was a kid, she bought me a dog. Mama's having a baby. That was the name of the dog. It had a stomach, and inside there was a baby. And you could take the baby out like she had the baby. And it was like, oh. As a grown woman, I'm looking at it, a teenage mother buys her child's father, little sister, and niece a baby that has a baby. Good. So, fast forward. I moved to Georgia. I'm thinking, when I was a kid, there was this man in our neighborhood. I was about three or four, and he used to give out Tootsie Pops to the kids. He was a pervert. He used to try to get kids to go in his basement. I wasn't going. I didn't know nothing about nothing, but I knew what that felt like. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I still know what it smells like. The smell that would come out of his house. It's just weird because I smell it every now and then, but it alerts me to that energy. It's weird. It's not weird. It's insightful. Anyway, so I moved to Georgia, and I made a connection with someone. I took a liking to this young man. We were young. I was about 5. But I remember we were in kindergarten together. And then he left and he moved to Georgia. And my mom's friend and his mom were friends. And my mom came down here and befriended her. It was weird. Whatever. So it was a recognition. We got really close. I used to hug him a lot. I used to hold his hand. I used to like to be hugged up. And I was like, what is this? I'm like, okay, what is this? What I was experiencing was a sense of intimacy. It wasn't sexual, but it was intimate. And my first attack happened, spiritual attack. After that, that's when the other types of attacks happen. As far as um, girls trying to touch on me, motherfucking boys in the neighborhood that were twice my age trying to, you know, insinuate and pull out appendages, and it was just, that's when shit started to get skewed, and it wasn't holding hands and hugging, like, you know what I mean? And now it started to have a different type of feeling to it. It was like, this is not safe. Like, why, if, it was something in my being that was activated between the electrocution and the fucking first psychic attack that I experienced. There was something that was starting to grow in me, of knowing that didn't want to be known, or wasn't wanted for me to be known. The attack kind of tried to skew the perception and bring on this illusion of what that act, this was this equals this, started to mean, and started to be. So every encounter after that wasn't of intimate nature with friendships and things like that. It had a very dark sexual undertone that I just didn't jive with. It became predatory. And it was like, no, get the fuck away from me. Like, why are you cornering me? Why are you talking about certain shit with me that you shouldn't be talking about with me? That's not intimate. That is predatory. It was a drastic difference. So coming into puberty and stuff like that, again, I have this blossoming, this blooming of my intimacy coming out in writing, my intimacy coming out in conversation, right? And I'm having this banter, and it's filling me with inspiration. I'm writing, but I'm writing things that are not of my age, like some Zane shit before time, before I even knew what the fuck the act of that intimate dance was. Needless to say, I got my ass embarrassed. My brother made me read a letter out loud, embarrassed the shit out of me, and it brought on that same feeling I had when I walked in that situation when I was a kid. The feeling flooded back that I felt back then, which was shame, guilt, embarrassment. It tore me to pieces to feel that what I was doing was so, I don't know, like the very core of me, my creativity, right? It's all linked together. It's all linked together. So I'm putting my me on it. And yes, it's all talk. It's no action. It's all talk. But it was given shame. It was given this embarrassment. It was given this sense of guilt. Nobody else got that. Nobody else got that. that type of treatment that I could see or witness from my perception. And I know it may have been different being, like my older sister. Like I said, I had a niece when I was, about to turn 3. That's a different feeling that she experienced. And we haven't talked about her exact experience of what she was perceived as, or uh, what was said to her, or how she felt, or any of that. But I had my own experience where it was my family doing this to me, not knowing all of the predatory stuff that I was, you know, blocking and protecting myself away from. They had no fucking clue that what they were attempting to assign to me was the very thing that I had been fighting from others coming towards me. So I just cried. I couldn't explain to them that, hey, I almost got molested. Hey, this person touched on me. I couldn't explain that to anybody. I couldn't tell them anything. I was shown that telling them anything would have resulted in my ridicule, which, I mean, it was evident. So this is a very, very big problem in America, all across the world, where you get demonized, you get ostracized, you get labeled, you get set aside, you get cast away because somebody wants to either take what isn't theirs from you and blame you for it, or blame you for wanting to feel what you want to feel. And it's not even about the action, it's just a feeling, right? I didn't start having sex. I wasn't doing that. I was just speaking. And yes, speaking comes first and then the manifestation later on. But that wasn't a step I was trying to take. That wasn't a step I was willing to take. And I knew that because I was doing so much defending to protect myself. So why would I be so willing to give it to somebody? Because I see everybody's trying to take it. This is something precious to me. But it wasn't treated that way. It was treated demeaned. It was ridiculed. It was embarrassed. It was socially distanced by telling people, hey, don't talk to her or I'm going to kill you. So all of this happening, even the grown men approaching me, and I'm talking about servicemen. At the bus station I used to go to after school, I'd be covered in mud and, soccer or softball or whatever. And there's grown servicemen. I mean, they see me. So and I was middle school, junior high, it's just always this energy that I've had that attracts certain things in other people. And it's something that I either connect and align with or something that I have to defend myself against because it's the opposite of my alignment. So, again, writing, I get in trouble for my writing again around that time. But it's like, you don't know that this is my outlet. When these energies come at me and I have to defend myself and fight them off, this is my purging. This is mosquito. This is my purging process. This is how I transcend the pain of being energetically attacked. This is how I transmute my energy. I turn it into something beautiful. I take it and I redeliver it. I recycle it. I revamp it. It wasn't looked at that way at all. So not only are you the ability to convey my point, to use my energy in that manner was limited. It was squashed, crushed, like I said, ridiculed, and the justification would be, it was to protect you, or it was out of love, or no, it was out of fear, and you didn't protect me. There were things that you never protected me from that I protected myself from. What I needed protection from was the harm that came from those who were closest to me, who didn't understand what I was doing, or what it meant. So they didn't know my intention. They assumed they knew because they knew their own when it came to that subject. And I was used with that gauge. I was used with that gauge of judgment, not as a person that I am, but as the person they are. I remember my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, telling me, or you're going to be a statistic. He's a white man. So for him to tell me that, it just, and this isn't about race per se, but just to the opposition of who I was came from everywhere, because it only got worse. After my mom passed, that was my outlet. I was watching porn. I was ordering shit. You goddamn right. You goddamn right. I needed some stimulation. I couldn't write it. They read my shit. They go in my stuff. I couldn't express myself that way. Couldn't talk to anybody about it. Right? Trying to show you how something small in the beginning starts to mount up and build up and build up, and it affects a person on a whole intricate fucking level. So when I bucked, I bucked. I bucked. And I didn't give a fuck by giving a fuck, if you get me. So I was like, get this shit out the way. Get this shit out the way. Let me go ahead and break the ceiling and keep pushing. Because everybody just trying my gangster. They just don't know how tight that ball had been, that it was like, you know what? I had lost another person. And I shit you not, I just came to this realization this morning. My whole sexual energy has always been amplified around grief. I shit you not. I shit you not. Like, it was around the time that last time the embarrassment and all that really took place. My mom passed not too long after that. It was actually maybe a month after. So around the September 11th time period. Um, second, when I lost, I won't say lost. When I transcended from virgin to not virgin physically, my grandfather had just passed. My whole sexual energy had been surrounded around feelings of shame, guilt, grief, and embarrassment. So that was an energy signature that was surrounded around every single encounter that mirrored that. It was very similar. So there was always, because of how it felt, that's what it embodied. So it was always clandestine. It was always embarrassing to be like, it felt like to be associated with another, and kind of cornered, like you were, it was embarrassing. There was a guilt to it. There was a shame to it that was just automatically attached to it, and it pissed me off because I wanted to be proud of what I do, how I do it, when I do it, wherever the fuck I do it, who I do it with, period. I wasn't given that aspect of respect. It was like my sex life was uh, demeaned and defiled before I could get a chance to establish it for myself, because of the way other people wanted to use their sexual energy in my vicinity, coming towards me or in reference to me. Like, just, this ain't that and that ain't this. So now, when people try to approach me to date me, what they're picking up that may attract them to me is the fact that I have healed from certain things that they attach to the act of sex and the art of intimacy. Guilt, shame. They may have a deviance. They may have addictions. With Leo in the 8th house, my moon, and Lilith, I'm picking up on these things. I can tell when a person has a perversion. I can tell when a person has been molested. I can tell when a person has been put in a position where they're ashamed or have been taken advantage of in a vulnerability aspect, whether it was sexual or emotional. Like, I can dig and I can feel those things. I can fucking feel them. And I shit you not. I asked before I started my channel, maybe a year and a half before I started my channel, I asked, no, about a year, I asked my ex, I said, who touched you? Of course, the conversation had left and he got upset and all that. But he admitted it. It took him 6 years. But he admitted it. 5 years, damn near 6. So I know what I know. And the tarot didn't have anything to do with that. Tarot is a tool. So, where I'm at now, gotta let the cat out the bag. And it scares some people because I love my body. I love my sex. I love my fucking attitude. I'm me, goddammit. And that's something that, you know how people can sense your potential and they're afraid of where it can go? They don't know if it's going to be used positive or negative. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting with this, that because of the nature, or they figure since it's this topic or this type of energy or the act that goes with this type of energy, that it has to be negative and it has to be dangerous, because they don't know examples of times it wasn't. And like I said, I was being judged with that point of perception, that point of view, because their encounters and their usage was negligible, like negligent. One of them words. So whether I'm twisted up, pulled apart, flat iron, curled, braided, bald, I got it. Period. What did it say? Period. Poop. No, I won't say that again. I water me. I water me like I'm just pouring everything, just pouring. I was taught too, the way I watched the women in my life pour into other people and be thirsty. Not thirsty like, you know, just seeking and searching and stuff, but malnourished when it came to love and respect and reciprocity. Threw money on it, towards the women, or, just flailing their feathers. I got this and I got that and I'm this and I'm, what are you really made of? Because all that physical shit, all the financial shit, the fanfare, I'm capable of it. But what else, beloved? What else you got? And this is where I've seen the trend of my relationships. It's almost like There was a fear of being successful in it, because what I see for myself is this motherfucker being worthy of standing beside me while I do my thing, and not feel threatened, and not feel belittled, and not feel left out. Though we're separate, my success is attributed to the support, morally, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, that I'm getting in my tango from another person. This is the way I've always felt it. I got Libra and Venus, but I have a North Node in Aries. So I'm gonna take charge, and I'm gonna take the lead, and I'm gonna be in front, and you're gonna fucking see me, and you're gonna hear me, and I'm gonna lead some shit, and I'm gonna tell them how it's supposed to be done, Virgo. Sun in Virgo. But that's not to say that he won't be important. But I can't bow down. So if you're asking me to fold and bow down, you're not a leader. Appreciate it. Congratulate it. It will blossom and it'll bloom, and it's beneficial to everybody because I can contribute from it, with it. Why is that a threat to other people? Why has that always been a threat to other people? I don't know. Why I'm so candid today, and why I really feel like I have to convey this shit? Because I've been on this journey. We start learning shit from the spiritual community. They teach you got to be positive all the time. They tell you that you got to throw love and light on it all the time, that you got to get rid of the darkness, and that purge and death and kill it and get rid of it. Copy? Copy con leche? Thank you. Love you. Consona. So they always, they're like, heal this, have this healed. And then it's cool, you can heal, but you need to see what it was necessary for first. You have to really see and analyze what the fuck. Hey, you can't go in there. Sir Gato. Kylo Ren is trying to get in the house. You're an outside house cat. So, I got bit on my neck. Once bitten, twice shy. God damn. So, I've always had this Black Widow type of vibe. This real, it's, I don't know. It's like, okay, well, and I could, that's Lilith back here, like, okay, I'm not saying that. Lilith really, let's try this. Do you like that? Like, she's that friend that will always cause you trouble. She will always get you in trouble. But a lot of people hate Lilith and hate her placement. They don't give her any respect. She has her uses if properly implemented. Everything can be purified. You can use certain things in a pure manner. It's the intention behind it. I'm not saying like I won't dress all risque and go out and traipse the city, but I'll do that behind closed doors with my man. Still Lilith, different environment. I'm still exercising that aspect of my chart without making it negative or dirty or feeling, oh, spade. Some good, clean fun there. I don't want to go out on the town and then complain that 1,000 men are hitting on me because I purposely use this energy to attract attention that is unwanted. You see what I'm saying? So the way that I use the energy that I use, I'm going to consider it first in a Virgo sense of way, with the confidence of a Leo moon in the 8th house. It's gonna be sexual. It's gonna be tantalizing. It's gonna be me, right? I gotta put my me on it. I put my love on it, and that's another hard thing to grapple: the sex and love aspect. and how they're so separate. They're so separate. They're so fucking separate. But it's an extension of, for me, it's an extension of. So it's not separate. And I give no fucks about who thinks that it's, listen, I have my moon sign. My emotionality is in a house of sex. 8th house. There's a lot that goes into that eighth house that's not just sex related. When it comes to other people's assets, how I protect them, how I want to make sure that people are straight. When people are transitioning, how I provide them comfort and they find support in me. Oh, I just got chills. There's a lot of ways that I utilize this energy, and sex is no different. It and of itself is a healing experience. And that's something I just cannot separate from me. I can't take that away. And I won't. I won't. My sisters think I'm batshit crazy. And me and my brother don't even talk. But I love them. And always will. Leo moon. 8th house. The bond will never be broken. True enough. But how we use that bond? I don't know. Don't know. I have no planets, no aspects supporting my 3rd house. Communication and siblings and stuff. Well, I won't say aspects. I'll say no planets, no placements contributing there. So I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't know how to feel about it. Like, even my relationship with my mom is like, it was there, but it wasn't, it was present, but it wasn't full. So I don't have the I don't know. It's a respect factor there, and there's a connection factor there, but it isn't. I can't recall a lot of time that we spent one on one, or really just had conversations and got to know each other. Like, I learned more about her and her death being a medium than when she was here. She didn't speak to me like that. She just intuited a lot of shit, and I picked it up. I didn't know that I was just we were telepathically communicating. So that's Pisces mom for you, Aries moon. I guess. I guess. But so it's touch and go with the sign of Pisces right now. Um, it's the other half of me, like the other part of my nature, and I've been there, done that, felt it, know it. Neptune and I, we done had some discussions, and it's like, all right, now I see what you're made of, but you see, I ain't no bitch assness over here. So I know my boundaries. I know what is illusionary, and I know what's really real. Mercury taking me to the underworld, like, come on, you gonna come with me. Pluto, like, come on, let's go. This truth down here. This is what helps me combat Neptune in the 1st house with all the illusionary shit. And always seeing stuff from this higher perspective, Sag rising. Yeah, but I'm gonna use Pluto to cut through all that shit. So let's not mince words. Let's get down to it. Let's get into it. If we can't have that conversation, in all honesty, you cannot bring it to me what you really need to say and convey, then there's nothing to say or convey. We don't tiptoe. We come in that motherfucking tap dance. You hear me? So, that was a tidbit. A lot of it. I'll probably publish this shit, never watch it, and forget what the fuck I said. Truth is truth. It's out there now, pretty much. So, I don't know. UPS man, he comes by so much. Like, this neighborhood, like, he's one of the homies. I shit you not, he came and delivered a bed to me. The motherfucker was heavy as fuck. And it was like 9:15 at night, and then 7 o'clock the next morning, he was dropping off the box praying like, didn't I just see you last night? I don't even see. You're not going to go there. We're going to get into it another time. But yes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for understanding. All these fucking parts of my chart are starting to come into. It's one thing to be aware, and it's another thing to have comprehension and build competency to understand how it contributes, playing on today's values and shit. So that's me, out of a nutsack, in a nutshell, so to speak. Let's make today the best day. It's the only today that we get today, and let's repeat tomorrow. I'll see y'all again.